Hi, and welcome everybody to this episode of Easton Library Community Book Chat. And I'm very excited to welcome SSEF fourth grade teacher extraordinaire, Darcy Sholz. Yay!
Hi, so nice to be here.
Mrs. Sholz, how are you?
I'm very good. Just plugging along. I'm still over here in fourth grade at Staples. This is my 23rd year here in fourth grade. So
That's amazing.
great.
That is amazing. How's everything going over at SSES right now?
Everything is great. Teachers are working so hard to make a safe place for the students, and it looks like on Monday we're going to be changing over again for students, whatever option they choose. But many are coming all in, so the teachers are looking forward to seeing their students, whether they're here or home. But they're all working hard to make a very safe place for them. So we're good. We're busy.
I know you're busy. Definitely. Well, good luck with that next week. I know it'll go great.
Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing many more faces in here for sure.
Yeah, that will be really nice. Fourth grade is such a great year. It's
my favorite.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You're not quite, you're growing up, so you're maturing a little bit, but you're not to the fifth grade where you're the senior in the school. It's this perfect little balance. It's a great year.
Yeah, I always say that they're old enough to do lots of things, but they're still young enough where they still love to come to school. And they're at a perfect age where they just are enraptured by learning, and they're excited to be here. It is, this is literally my 23rd year in fourth grade. So I just love it. I absolutely love it. I loved it when I was in fourth grade, and I love teaching it every year. So it's a really magical year.
It is. It's fantastic. And you picked a really magical book to talk about today.
My favorite.
Yes.
Oh. And my former students know this is usually, for years and years, I forget this book was written, I think in 2000, I have to look to see because 1999 it was written, which amazes me because I started here in 97. I don't know if I have read it since 99, but I know probably since at least 2000. I've read it because it is such a great book. It pulls the kids in, as our first read aloud. It's so exciting. The characters are amazing, but it ties in the story that's like a mystery, and it ties in characters from 100 years ago, but the basis of it is friendship and taking care of each other, and it keeps the kids on their edge of their seat. It's just a perfect book to start with.
Yeah, it is. It's a fantastic book. And I love that you've been reading it to the class aloud for all that time, because it's becoming sort of like a a school tradition.
Yeah, it is for me. I just love to start with it. I love the author, Louis Sachar. He's got some great books. And it's funny, all the kids, whenever I pull it out to read, they always say, oh, I saw that movie. But in this case, the movie doesn't even do the book justice, in my humble opinion. I think the book is so much more exciting than the movie. So even if they have seen the movie, there's still so much excitement in the book, which is great.
Yeah, the book is fantastic. So what other kinds of books do you like to read?
Well, I would say my favorite as a person, not a teacher, favorite books to read are mystery type books. Although ironically, I didn't read any mysteries this summer. I read a lot of nonfiction this summer. But I love to read a lot of fiction books that have lessons that kids can take something away from the classroom. Like in Sholz, I think the lesson is friendship and doing what's right, and good will always come to you if you always try to choose the right thing to do, sticking together. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love Sholz so much, because it's such there's so much in-depth character discussion that you can have, and there's so many lessons to take away, for sure.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book. And I know that when my daughter was in fourth grade, she came home almost daily talking about that book.
Yes.
And yeah, was just enamored with it.
And it's fun now because, so in school with this hybrid that we're doing, when I do read aloud, I'm reading to my students here, and we do a live stream to read it at home. And so we're reading it at the same time. And I think if I ever said I was going ahead on one of the groups, they would totally really be upset, because it's so exciting. And we actually use this book as like a mentor text as we learn things throughout the year in our writing and our reflection about our reading, and especially in our character discussion and our character analysis. There's so many different layers to these characters that you can use it in our discussion throughout the whole year. It's a really different book in the sense that I haven't found another book that really is so in-depth or has such a different kind of plot. Whereas a lot of books, like another book I'd talking about was Fish in a Tree. And I love that book because it talks about a classroom and relationships between teachers and students and students and friends amongst each other. And that's more of a typical kind of realistic fiction book. And although this is fiction, it's a very different kind of plot that you're saying, could that really ever happen? No, probably not, but it could, but you come out with the same type of lessons through a really different kind of story. It definitely keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it does. It's very unique.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think that's one reason why I like it, because I don't know that students would see it and pick it up automatically, but once they read it, they want to read it again and again, which is great.
Absolutely. It is great. So we have Sholz here at the library. We have it as a physical book, and we have it as a downloadable audiobook and a downloadable ebook. So if anyone's interested in Sholz, which you should be.
Yes, read the book. It's so good. But for all my students for 20 years now, I've probably said, oh, we already read that. But it's one of those books you could read over and over, and you pick up different parts of the story that you may have missed, the first time that you read it. And ironically, and it's still so relevant that we were talking about author's craft just yesterday. And one of the author's craft we were talking about was repetition. And Louis Sachar uses that type of craft in at least in this story. So there are so many different ways that we use this book for enjoyment, but also to learn some different parts about writing as well.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic. So you can just check the Easton Public Library's website. You can hit search the catalog button and look up Sholz. And then we also have Fish in a Tree, which is the other book that you mentioned.
Another great book too. Oh my gosh, this one makes me cry. Sholz made me cry years ago, but Fish in a Tree makes me cry every time I read it. It's a beautiful story. Such a beautiful story.
Yeah, well, these are great recommendations. Thank you so much. And
My pleasure.
I really appreciate, I know how busy you are over there, and you guys probably barely have a minute's rest. So thank you for taking a little time out and talking with us. It's really great.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for thinking of me. This was really fun. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And thanks to everybody for watching this episode of Easton Library Community Book Chat, and stay well and have a great day.